Now, we'll do one more. Let's see. I think I'll pick this little guy down here on the bottom that'll never amount to anything. Got that one. I'll cut this again at an angle. Trim this leaf off. Trim these off. Now let me give this a little bit of a scrape. Got to kind of support it a little bit because this stem's pretty weak. But it's nice and stiff though. These have been outside. So since they've been outside, they've got a little bit more cellulose in there. Okay, there we go. Four cuttings right now that are halfway through the process. Next thing we're going to do is put some rooting hormone on them, and then after that, put them in the growing medium. And that's right now. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm only going to use one kind of a medium, this rock wool. And rock wool it's really cool stuff. It's well, what it is rocks, and they're heated up, and it's spun around like cotton candy, and then they press it into different shapes. This is a round one, and as you can see, you can just open it up like this and set the stem in here, and that'll work really well. And then here's one, a little autonomous cube, or one that you can use all by itself, and I like them because they're lined with plastic, and the roots will also grow right around this plastic zone inside, and they won't air prune because these will air prune. Okay, and what I do, it's already got a hole in the middle, but I like to take something like this screw and then make the hole a little bigger, and as you can see, I made it about an inch deep, stuck it down in here that far. Okay, and then I'll do that to this other one too, this other cube. There's already a hole there, but I poke it down. There we are, about an inch deep. Now the next thing is I'm going to need to get these wet. And notice that this is distilled water. I'm using distilled water, and that means it doesn't have an electrical charge or any EC in it. No fertilizers, no dissolved solids, pure clean stuff. So that's what I want to start with. So I'm getting them good and wet, and I'm just soaking them. And then the extra water's going down here in the tray. I'll get these nice and wet. So they're soaked through and through. And then there's water also in the bottom of the tray. So they're saturated now. So the next step is to take some of this rooting hormone. This stuff here is called Klonex. It's one of the first gels on the market. It's kind of a gel stuff. And open it up. Pretty gooey stuff. I like it. Looks pretty cool. Actually, I used a little bit too much for what I'm going to need. Well, let's take one of these clones out. What I do is I just take this clone here and dip it in the gel. Dip it in there so it gets nice and stuck. So there's a nice bit of gel on there. Now I'll just stick this right down here into this rock wool cube. There we go. Plenty of gel around it. Now I just pinch this in here so we make sure and get nice contact there. Okay, see, I pinched that in. Got nice contact. Okay, there's one clone done. Now let's get another one here. Here's one. Okay, and remember, I already scraped the edges and everything of the stem. Okay, now it's got plenty of gel on here, you can see, against my hand. And I'm going to take this one and put it in one of these circles. Just open that up and then set it down right in there. Now these are designed to go with a little plug deal that keeps them closed. Now the next one is the powder. And the powder, a lot of people use this one. This is called Rapid Grow. Okay? And anyway, there's a lot here. This is enough to last me for a few years. What I'm going to do is just take it and put a little bit on this paper. Okay, it doesn't take very much. And this is real strong stuff. And I shake it there so it's not overly powerful. And I'll just stick that right down here in this cube. There we go. Now, just push down. So you can see we got plenty of rooting hormone there. Now the next one is the last cutting. Just take this and do the same thing. Just roll it. There we go. Shake it. And just set that right in here. Put it right towards, oops, right toward the center, right down in there. I'll close that up. Okay, that's nice and tight now. Okay, that'll work fine. Now we can see these are just in standing water. What we want to do is drain this water out. There we go. All drained out. So we've got our 4 clones here. One in the, or each one of them is looking real good now. We've got 2 in cubes and 2 in circles. Now the way to keep the humidity up on these little guys is with a humidity tent. Now you just take this humidity tent, and you can buy them down at the hydro store, and they are for a 10-20 flat, 10 inches wide by 20 inches long. Now it's also got these really cool vents. So there's a hole up here, and then there's 2 holes in the sides or in the ends, and that way you can vent them and control the amount of humidity inside. But for right now, I'm going to close everything up real tight. Now the next thing I'm going to do is take them inside and put them under a light. That way they can get light for 24 hours a day. Okay, now what we do is take these clones and put them under a fluorescent light. Just set them right under there, right under a little lamp like this. This is from Hydro Farm. It's a little T5, and it's real bright for as big as it is. So we'll just take that and put it up here, and notice it's quite a ways above the clones, but that's okay. They really don't need tons of light now. And I don't want to get it right up on top of this little humidity dome, so I'll leave it like it is now. And in a few days, what I'll do is take this humidity dome off, because the plants won't need 100% or 95% humidity. What they'll need is a lot of air circulation and more CO2. As a matter of fact, I might even open this right now, just thinking about that. So I open one of the little vents, and I'll open one of the other little vents over here on this side. There, I'll open about halfway. Okay, so now I'm just going to leave this lamp on 24 hours a day and keep these things nice and moist. Well, let's see. I'll tell you, I'm looking at those little ones in the middle, and I don't like the way there's a big crack there. So what I think I'm going to do is get a piece of string and tie around there. Make a few wraps. Don't want to squeeze too tight, but I want to make sure that thing gets plenty of moisture in there. So I'll just tie this up. Remember, I want to tie this nice and loose. Okay, trim this off. There we go. Now we're nice and tight. I like that a little better. We'll give them a little bit of space. Now we'll put our dome back on and slide it back under the light. Let's check on these clones in a few days and see how they look. I'll bet they look a lot better.